What up? I'm Shep Apelka, and this is the Braves TomaBlog. So this whole season has belonged to the runaway hype train that is Aaron Judge, and that is fully fair, and the point of this video is not to take anything away from Aaron Judge. The point of it isn't to say that the season wasn't actually that good or anything like that. I think that the season was absolutely amazing. It was absolutely warranted every bit of the hype that he had. So just to go through some of it, in this season, according to Fangraphs, he had an 8.2 wins above replacement line. According to ESPN, it was an 8.8 wins above replacement line. It's absolutely outstanding. It should be in the top two, if not the MVP, competing with Jose Altuve, in my opinion. In the season, he hit 284, 422, 627. It's absolutely unbelievable what Aaron Judge did this year. But I don't believe in it. I don't think that it can be reproduced. And I don't think we're going to see much close to it in the future. So anyone that is a fan of baseball in general has been keeping up with the prospects for years. You've known who Aaron Judge is, and so you know how much of an anomaly this season has been. That he's hit 284 and the 422 on base percentage is just unbelievable in comparison to what he's been doing. Now in the past, on this channel in fact, I sort of spoke out against him last year before he was up in the majors, saying I don't really believe in him. I tend not to believe in hitters that don't have a baseball body. And so when I say a baseball body, you think of guys like Mike Trout, Chris Bryant, Freddie Freeman, Joey Votto. These are just some traditional baseball bodies. Those tend to work out. I tend to object to guys that have great athleticism that seem like somewhat of an anomaly. So for that, think of Dee Gordon. Think of Billy Hamilton, maybe Pablo Sandoval. You get what I'm saying. Guys, you know, like Billy Hamilton, I look at him and I go, like, it's a defensive back. I look at Dee Gordon and I go, he's a track runner. But they're making their skill sets work in Major League Baseball. I said the same thing about Aaron Judge because I look at this guy. He's 6'7", 280 pounds, and I said, this is a defensive end. This is a tight end or a linebacker. This guy should not be playing baseball, but he is, and he's doing it well. So I said I don't believe in him because I don't believe in guys that don't have baseball bodies. They tend to rely too much on their athleticism. They don't make adjustments, and they strike out way too much. And he proved me wrong real good this past year. In between the offseason of 2016 and 2017 showed an absolutely uncanny, unbelievable ability to make adjustments. And I want to go through some of the adjustments that were shown. The biggest adjustment to me was that he understood his strike zone better than anyone besides really Joey Votto. So in comparing his 40-something games from 2016 to 2017, which I know this is a very small sample size to compare this with, but that's sort of the point that we sort of believe Aaron Judge is the face of baseball now, which I sort of am objecting to. This is a small sample size to compare this to, but I'm going to compare 2016 to 2017. In that time, the amount of pitches that he swung at outside of the strike zone from 2016 to 2017 went down 9%. Overall, he swung about 4.5 times less in 2017 than he did in 2017. He made contact with 7.5% more pitches in 2017 than he did in 2016. And his swinging strike percentage went down 5%. So essentially what it added up to was that he laid off the pitches outside of the zone and he killed the pitches inside the zone. He was amazing at just making contact with pitches that were inside the zone and reading his own strike zone. So as a result, you see the 422 on base percentage. I thought he was going to have a 320 on base percentage. Here's why I think other people are doing this as well, along with me. This is why people are objecting to Aaron Judge's season, is that one, it was an outstanding season and nothing should be taken away from that. In that time, his strikeout percentage, in comparison to the 40-something games to this year, it went down from 44% to 30.7%. That's a 15% decrease in strikeout percentage. If anyone decreases their strikeouts 15%, they're going to have a huge uptick in every number that season. A 30.7 strikeout percentage is still not good, and as a result, he still struck out 208 times. You can't hit 300 with 200 strikeouts. Think about it, you have 500 at-bats a season. If you strike out 200 of them, you only have 300 at-bats in which you do put the ball in play, so on 100 of the 300 at-bats, you have to get a hit when you put the ball in play. It's just an anomaly, and it doesn't happen. So I was having a hard time just looking for precedent for this. I had never heard of this happening. So I was looking through Hall of Famers, and one, it's just hard to find in general. They don't strike out 200 times. I was looking through guys that I associate with lots of strikeouts. Barry Bonds, Vladimir Guerrero, David Ortiz, none of them ever came close. David Ortiz's highest strikeout percentage was 23.5. These guys just don't come close to it. So I looked at Chris Carter. Chris Carter is the guy we associate with lots of home runs, lots of strikeouts. And he does. If you give Chris Carter 500 at-bats a season, he will strike out 200 times. His career average is 217, so this is not comparable at all. I found one comparable season, and there are probably more, but I was only able to find one. And it was Chris Davis in 2013. You all remember this. I know you were around for it. In 2013, Chris Davis had 584 at-bats, 53 home runs, 199 strikeouts, and a 286 average. So he had one more home run than Judge did. He had 9 fewer strikeouts and 2 average points higher. So the fallout from Chris Davis's 2013 season was in 2014 he hit 196. In 2015 he hit 262 with 47 home runs. So he had a very similar season, really good, not quite as good. 2016 he hit 221, and in 2017 he hit 215. We've settled on what Chris Davis is. He's a home run hitter, and that's fine. He deserves the money that he got for it, but we don't expect much more out of him than hitting home runs on a year-in, year-out basis. That being said, we know what his ceiling is now, and we know that he's underperforming. So I'm going to draw some conclusions on this Aaron Judge stuff. All told, it was an anomaly of a season for more than one reason. The main one for me is that 52 home runs in a season, that's an anomaly for anyone in baseball right now. It's even more so an anomaly for anyone that had only hit 23 home runs in any season prior to this. So again, it's largely, and I said the same thing last year when Trevor Strory came onto the scene and hit 20 home runs in the first half, and I said his best season, he hit 20 home runs. He did that in the first half. Now, he ended up getting hurt, and you saw this year, he hit 24 in an almost full season, but he regressed to about a 230 average. These guys regress, and a lot of times when they come out the rookie year, sometimes especially if they're in Coors Field or Yankee Stadium, they hit a lot of home runs. So I wouldn't expect 52 from Aaron Judge in the future. The other thing is that we've been able to watch Aaron Judge, so it's not like we're completely, blind on what type of player he is. He's been in the minors for a while, and what I'm able to deduce from his minor league play is that the 200 strikeouts isn't the anomaly. This is the most at-bats he's ever gotten in a season, but his pace is just like this one. And the anomaly is the 284, 422, 627. That's what's not reproducible. He used outstanding, impeccable, admirable plate discipline in order to have the outstanding season that he did. The plate discipline can be replicated, but his average on balls in play will go down, and his average will go down, and more than likely, his OBP will go down. Not as a direct result, I just don't think he can sustain it being 6'7". He has a massive strike zone. It's huge, and in order to control that strike zone, you need one vital thing, which he currently has. That thing is bat speed. Keep in mind, Aaron Judge is 25 years old. What I'm not saying is that he's a bust. What I'm not saying is that he's not worth it. I'm not saying that he's not worth the hype for this season. What I am saying is that there's a traceable moment where in which the Yankees can screw the pooch on this one. The moment that the Yankees give Aaron Judge a long-term contract beyond his arbitration is the moment the Yankees screw the pooch. So I want to tell you guys about a narrative of this player that is just an anomaly. So this player, 25 years old, a 25-year-old rookie after a lot of time in Scranton, and he hit the ground running as a rookie, and he was immediately the best player on his team. He won the home run derby early in his career, and he controlled the strike zone really well, and he led his team to the playoffs in the first year, and he became the staple of that organization and the face of the franchise. The player I was trying to describe was not Aaron Judge. The player I just described was Ryan Howard.